Well, it's a real joy to welcome Maria Edström to the couch before the conference. Now, Maria is an Associate Professor at the University of Gothenburg. She is on the steering group of AgeCap, the Centre for Health and Aging, and has done really interesting things like having a travelling exhibition of photos and life stories. Arstrika, hope I said that right, rich in years. And I understand that you're a media person and you're really passionate about ageism. So Maria, I've got a couple of questions to ask you. Firstly, what makes you so passionate about this area of older people?
Yeah, as you say, I am passionate about many things. And my starting point was actually in the gender issues. And all those isms are connected, like ageism, racism, sexism, and early on in my career we did a study on who's visible in the media, and already at that time, in the beginning of the 90s, we found that older people weren't there, and even less so with older women. Like if you would see like a crime fiction series, they might be killed in the beginning, but then we had this that you had to say something, and they never said enough to be part of our study, so to speak. And those kind of things made me think that you should always like include these issues about age, because also the same thing happened with very young people. So I worked also with when I was a journalist, I did on youth issues, youth and democracy, and they also have trouble having a voice. So this whole democratic deficit that media is part of or contributing, that some people are not heard, and that makes you have a skewed idea of what's going on in society and who is capable and not. So that's how I entered, and then in 2016, I had the privilege to be able to enter this AgeCap center in Gothenburg, which became larger. It's in Gothenburg. We've been doing age studies since 1971, where we do all these kind of both health. We follow older people until they die, basically, in 5-year cycles, and through that we have a huge data set that a lot of researchers have been using for various purposes. And where you can look at the blood pressure or dementia or balance, all the disciplines are using this material. So when I entered AgeCap, I had the possibility to kind of dwell into even more about the relationship between media and aging, and of course you get just sometimes really depressed because what older people are saying and doing is not considered newsworthy. I mean, we have quite, how do you say, potent older people in Sweden that do a lot of things, and they have a lot of opinion, and they are very, active in society. If you're, but that doesn't shine through in the media, and that becomes problematic, because then that kind of fuels, I think, ages in all sectors of society. So you can see it when you enter the hospital, or if you go to politicians, or in business, or in the labor market. People have very prejudiced ideas that kind of limits so many people. Well, you hear, I can go on forever.
Yes. No, that's marvelous. That's fantastic. So, Sweden and New Zealand, we have some things in common. We have other things. You're over there in Europe. We're in the middle of winter at the moment. So older people seem to be successfully aging all around the world. So what do you think are the main issues for older people in your neck of the woods at the moment?
I think I listened to the other interviews, and the things that talk about the dignity and shared humanity, and I think that those kind of issues are very burning issues today. Like, how do we treat each other in general, and you shouldn't limit it to older people. It's like, how do we see each other, and the problem is if you are in a group that you don't have that voice, and maybe someone has to maybe talk for you if you become old, frail and older. You can't can't defend your interest in a way. It's very hard, I would say, today, because you are expected to speak up and be there and take your part and so on, but everybody can't do that. So it's like, I think that's really problematic. And when you talk about older people, as we even do now, you tend to lump everyone together into one group. And as if we could talk about in Sweden, it's like 25% of the population, and that is such a diverse group. So it's kind of ridiculous in a way to speak about older people as one homogeneous group. So I think making everyone aware of, seeing the person you meet, like regardless if you're in the care or in the service professions or wherever. I think that's hugely important.
Yes, yeah, I agree with you. There is huge diversity, particularly in the older you get, the more diversity than you
Exactly.
are from your colleagues.
Yeah.
Yes, and your
yes. Our research at the age gap shows, that the diversity increases and inequality increase by age.
Yeah.
So if you don't take that into account, I mean, you will have a huge problem in society.
Yeah. So, Maria, without giving the game away too much, what are you going to talk to us about at the conference?
Yes, my plan is to talk about all the you could call it like dissemination projects, or like how we try to communicate, because we feel that there's so much both great research and great things going on that doesn't kind of reach the public. So we have several quite big collaboration with artists, with actors, and different organizations, trying to kind of put aging issues onto the agenda. So we've been having actually quite a lot of activity. We put quite a lot of effort bringing researchers and other partners together for like conversations or actions. And currently this year we have about 50 activities like that in Gothenburg, big or small, but that attract a lot of people. And the themes varies from love to depression, loneliness, or together, this intergenerational things. And like we had just before our summer, this was in June, and now we had like a together day, like a full day with different events. And I think like 2,000 people participated, both young and older, and having discussions and how can we actually bridge those gaps between different groups and different ideas, and how do we go forward. So in that sense, even though I'm a media scholar, now I've been more into this, trying to just kind of make people want to do things and feel differently about themselves, and also the possibility of aging in a way they want to age, and not in a mediated vision of what it should be like.
That's
about what I was talking. And of course, I would say something about the media as well. I can't help since that's my field.
Oh, well, that's great. I'm really looking forward to it. And I know that you've got some plans to be here before and after. We're going to try to get you on the radio. And we're really looking forward to welcoming you to New Zealand. So I'll say thank you very much, and safe travels as you make your way to our fair shores.
Thank you. I'm so much looking forward to you all.
Great.